Hello, how are you? I'm a little tired. Sit down, please. I'd like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get it started. Today, it is October 27th, 2022. It's sunny outside. It's on Thursday today. If you don't have the interest in that, you cannot understand the value of that. If you don't have the interest in that, you cannot understand the value of that. The value of the painting is about $84 million. $84 million. Why is it so expensive? The value of the gold has been changing. The value of the gold has been changing. Doing effort is of value as a human. Doing efforts are of value. Doing efforts is of value. Doing efforts are of value. Doing efforts are of value. Doing an effort is of value. Climbing the Mount Fuji is of value. I want you to see the beautiful view from the top of the mountain. Climbing the mountain is of value. I want you to see the beautiful view, which is beyond the description, from the top of the Mount Fuji. Arriving at the international airport at least 2 hours before departure is of importance. Of importance. Appreciating autumn leaves is of value because it is very beautiful and it will cure our mental. The beautiful color of maple trees will inspire us to create something great works of art. Appreciating autumn leaves is of value, which will make us create great works of art, which inspires us, The English skill is valuable in this generation. English skill is very valuable. English skill is very valuable. Programming skill is very valuable. The demand for those who can program is very high. Programming skill is very valuable or invaluable. Programming skill is invaluable, 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 invaluable. Programming skill is invaluable, 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 invaluable. The demand for those who have the programming skill is very high. The demand for those who have the programming skill is very high. The demand for those who have the programming skill is very high. So the programming skill is very valuable, invaluable, 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 invaluable. 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 Invaluable, invaluable. What is the most invaluable for you? What is the most invaluable for you? Nothing is invaluable as health. Nothing is invaluable as health. Nothing as invaluable as health. Nothing is as invaluable as health. Nothing is more invaluable than health. Nothing is more invaluable than health. Nothing is more invaluable than health. Health is more important, more invaluable than anything. Health is more invaluable than anything. The examination is evaluated by the computer. It is a computer score test. So if your score doesn't reach the passing grade, you will fail. So if your score is beyond the passing grade, you can pass. Regarding the first examination. After passing the first examination, you can go on to the speaking test, which is the second stage of the examination. I'd like to know how the examination is evaluated. Is it evaluated by the computer, or is it my answer sheets will be evaluated by the examiners? I'd like to know the detail. I'd like to know how my examination will be evaluated. For example, is it my answer sheets will my answer sheets be evaluated by the computer or evaluated by the examiners? Is it possible to know the detail? The salary in many companies will be evaluated how long you are working and how skillful you are. Many employees are complaining about the evaluation. Many citizens are doubtful about the evaluation. Evaluation. Do you find the current evaluation system strange? Do you find the current evaluation system strange? Do you think the current evaluation system strange? Do you consider the current evaluation system strange? Do you consider the current evaluation system strange? Do you find the current evaluation system strange? Evaluation. Evaluation. The unfair evaluation of the payment led to the labor dispute. The unfair evaluation of the amount of the payment led to the labor dispute. The unfair evaluation of the accomplishment of the employees led to the labor dispute. The unfair evaluation of the amount of payment led to the labor dispute. What do you think of innovation? What do you think about innovation? Without innovation, the management might go down. The situation might go down because it will lose the competitiveness with others. The world is moving faster than expected, so to keep competitive, we sometimes need the innovation. But innovation is not necessarily important all the time. The innovation might be the wrong decision or good decision. We don't know. We keep challenging to know if the innovation is good or not. Innovation. Some companies are growing so much with innovations. It is said that technical innovation will come every 50 years. It is said that technical innovation will arrive every 50 years. Technical innovations, technical innovations, technical innovations, technical innovations, technical innovations, innovation, innovation, innovation. Innovation, technical innovations. There are many kinds of innovations. It is said that technical innovations will come every 50 years. It is said technical innovations will come every 50 years. Technical innovations. Technical innovations. Technical innovations. Technical innovations. Technical innovations. Some companies with innovations are now thriving, prospering. Companies with innovations are thriving. Companies trying to be innovative are thriving, prospering. Innovation, technical innovations. Do you try to innovate new things or keep conservative? Some people try to innovate new things, while others don't. I know it's confusing, annoying, or scary to innovate new things. It might cost you a lot, or it might be challenging, and it might fail. So I can understand it's difficult to innovate new things. Innovate. The ones going down company was innovated with the strategic marketing method by the new CEO. The once declining company innovated. The educational system innovated. The company innovated a new system to vitalize the company again. The school innovated a new system of education. The company innovated new recruitment system to vitalize this company. The CEO of the company innovated new recruitment system in order to get candidates who are eager to enter this company. And those with a lot of passion, enthusiasm, devotion, dedication. Innovate. Some people very late to innovate new technologies, while others don't. Some people, including me, very late to innovate new technologies. Do you try to innovate new things, new technologies, new systems? Or keep conservative? Innovate. 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 Japan innovated a lot after Meiji Restoration. Japan innovated a lot after Meiji Restoration in the middle of 19th century. The company innovated a lot with the management of the new CEO. The company innovated a lot with the management of the new CEO. The company innovated a lot with the management of the new CEO. Many things innovated after Meiji Restoration. Samurai system was also abolished. Meiji Restoration is a series of reforms which modernized Japan drastically. Japan innovated a lot drastically with Meiji Restoration. The company innovated a lot with the strategic method by the new CEO. The company innovated a lot with skillful techniques, skillful management style by the new CEO. The company innovated by the skillful management of the new CEO. The company innovated with the skillful management of the new CEO. The company innovated a lot with the skillful management style of the new CEO. The company innovated a lot. The company innovated a lot with the skillful management of the CEO. Innovate, innovate. After listening to the lecture by the YouTuber, I innovated his way of studying English. I innovated his way of studying English. After listening to his lecture on YouTube, I incorporated his way of studying English into my method, my daily study. Do you usually try to innovate new technologies or new things? Do you try to innovate 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 new things? The store finally innovated automatic ordering machine, automatically ordering machine. The restaurant innovated washing machine. The restaurant innovated washing machines. The restaurant innovated washing machines in order to cut the cost, labor cost. In order to cut the labor cost. Thus, more and more stores will innovate automatic ordering system. Automatic ordering system. Touchscreen ordering machine panel. Touching screen panel to order. More and more restaurants or stores will innovate touchscreen ordering system. Touch panel to order, touch panel to order, or cash, pay, touch panel to order or pay. More and more stores will innovate touch panel to order or pay. More and more stores will innovate touch panel to order the merchandise, to order or pay for the merchandise. More and more stores will innovate touch panel to pay or order. Are you innovative or conservative or liberal? Are you innovative or conservative? The new innovative CEO drastically changed the style of the company. The new innovative CEO thoroughly changed the system of the company. Innovative, 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 innovative. Are you innovative? Are you innovative or conservative? Are you innovative? Are you an innovator or conservative? Are you an innovator or conservative? Are you an innovator or conservative? Innovator. Innovator. The CEO or innovator drastically changed the system of the company to keep competitive with other companies in the world. The innovator CEO of the company drastically changed the system of the company in order to be competitive in the global economy, in the global world, in the globalization. Innovator. innovator, 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 innovator. Are you an innovator? Are you an innovator? There are both innovator and conservatives. There are both innovators and conservatives. I'm more of an innovator, I think, compared to others. In comparison to average people, I'm more of an innovator than a conservative. I'm more of an innovator than a conservative. I'm more of a innovator. I am more of an innovator than a conservative. I'm more of an innovator. I'm more of an innovator. I'm more of an innovator than a conservative. I am more of an innovator than a conservative. I am more of an innovator than a conservative. Innovator, innovator. Thanks to the invention of the product, the company has been prospering, thriving. The invention was very landmark. His series of failures led to the invention. His series of failures of the experiments led to the invention. What are you inventing? What are the researchers inventing? They are inventing flying cars. It might be made possible. It might be made to be possible soon in the future. The engineers are inventing a flying car. The engineers are inventing flying cars. Strategy of diversification. The company is trying to hire candidates from various fields as a strategy of diversification. The company is trying to hire candidates from various fields as a strategy of diversification. The companies are trying to hire candidates from various fields as a strategy of diversification. Strategy. Talking to myself is a strategy to improve my speaking skill. Talking to myself, speaking to myself is the strategy to improve my speaking skill, because it is not possible to talk with native speakers every day, every time. Strategy of diversification. 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 Hotels are usually located in strategic places. Hotels are usually located in strategic places, such as near train stations, and so on. Shops, restaurants, and other Buildings are usually located inconveniently in strategic places. Shops and restaurants are usually located in strategic places. Shops and restaurants are usually located in strategic places. Strategic places to attract and gain customers. Shops are usually located in strategic places such as next to train stations and so on. Strategic Defense Initiative. Strategic Defense Initiative. Strategic Defense Initiative. SDI stands for Strategic Defense Initiative. SDI stands for Strategic Defense Initiative. Strategic Defense Initiative. SDI stands for Strategic Defense Initiative. 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 Shops are usually located in strategic places, such as the place next to train station. Strategic. Drinking a cup of coffee during the study is strategic for me, because the caffeine will help us to be concentrated. The caffeine will help us to be concentrated on something, because the caffeine will help us to concentrate. The caffeine will help us to concentrate. The caffeine will help us concentrate. The caffeine will help us to concentrate on something. Strategic Defense Initiative. Strategic Defense Initiative. Strategic Defense Initiative. Drinking coffee in the morning is tactics to get up for many commuters. Drinking a cup of coffee in the morning for breakfast is the tactics to get up for many commuters, for many people. Drinking a cup of coffee in the morning is the tactics to get up for many people. Tactics. 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 Drinking a cup of coffee in the morning to get up is a tactics. Drinking a cup of coffee in the morning for breakfast is the tactics to get up. Tactics. 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 The army is discussing the tactics. The army is going to is going to hold a meeting to discuss tactics. All of the examinees have their own tactics to pass examination. All of the examinees have their own tactics to pass examination. All of the examinees have their own tactics in order to pass examination. All of the examinees have the tactics to pass examination. They are preparing for that since a long time ago. Tactics, tactics, tactics. Building a castle in the mountain or on the hill is one of the tactics to make the battle in favor of the fortress, in favor of the castle. Building a castle on the hill or in the mountain is one of the tactics to favor the battle, to favor those living near the castle, to make the battle in favor of those in the castle. Because castle play the role as a fortress. Tactics. Drinking a cup of coffee in the morning for breakfast is the tactics to get up, to wake up, to get up. I saw some people working with his or her hands a cup of a bottle of coffee. I saw some commuters working with a cup of coffee in the morning. Tactics, tactics. Tactics. Could you tell me your tactics until the pass of the examination? What tactics did you use to pass examination? Can I know the textbooks you used? Preparation is very important in a tactical way. Tactical, tactics, tactical, 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 tactical. Tactical, 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 tactical. Tactical, 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 tactical. In a tactical way. The castles used to be built in the mountain or on the hill for the tactical purposes. For the tactical purposes. Castles used to be built in the mountain or on the hill for the tactical purposes. Tactical purposes. The army had changed tactical formation. The army is holding a tactical meeting in the cave. Tactical meeting is said to be held in this cave. Tactical meeting used to be held here in the cave. Tactical meeting is believed to be held here. Tactical meeting is said to be held here. Tactical meeting is said to be held here. Tactical meeting is said to be held here. It is said the tactical meeting was held in this cave. It is believed that tactical meeting was held in this cave. Tactical meeting is said to have been held here. Tactical meeting is said to have been held here. It is said that tactical meeting was held in this cave. Tactical cave is said to have been held here. Tactical. Tactical method. Tactics. Tactical secret. Castles used to be built on the hill or in the mountain for tactical purposes. For the tactical purposes. Tactical. Tactical information was disclosed. Tactical papers were found from the facility. Tactical information was disclosed. Tactical. Tactical information. Tactical method. Tactical information. Tactical information. Tactical information. Tactical information. Tactical. Some people like tactical games, which needs brain thinking a lot, which needs which needs thinking a lot. And some people like tactical games, such as chess, shogi, and so on. Such a game needs a lot of thinking. Such games need a lot of thinking. Because of the weak foundation, the house leaned. Because of the weak foundation, the house leaned. Do you know the guy leaning against the wall? And some people were waiting for someone leaning against the wall, leaning on the wall. Some people were waiting for someone at the station leaning on the wall, leaning against the wall. While we were listening to the tour guide explaining about the hotel, the kid was leaning against the vase and it fell. The vase looked so expensive. I didn't know what would happen after that. It might be covered by the insurance, or the father of the kid might have been obliged to pay for the cost. I'm not sure, I don't know. With that position, our spine will lean. The gate was leaning day by day, so it was fixed. The gate was so vertical when it was founded, it was erected, it was established. But it has been leaning since then. Do you know the guy leaning against the wall? Some people were waiting for someone at the station leaning against the wall. Some people wait for someone leaning against the wall, leaning on the wall. You can count on me, you can turn to me, you can lean on me anytime. Lean. While I was taking the train, the woman sitting next to me was sleeping and leaning on my shoulder sometimes. She was leaning on my shoulder sometimes. While I was taking the train, the woman sitting next to me was sleeping and leaning on my shoulder sometimes. And leaning on my shoulder sometimes. Due to the pandemic, many companies leaned to the recession. Many tourism industries leaned to this recession. You can measure the lean of the slope. You can measure the lean of the angle. You can measure the angle of the line with this tool. But you are not allowed to use the measure during the examination. You can measure the angle of the line with this tool. You can measure the angle of the line with this tool, but you are not allowed to use the tool during the examination. So you have to solve the question by collecting much information from the questions. You have to read to the answer by yourself from the hints from the question. You can measure the angle of the slope line with this tool. How sharp do you think is the lines? How sharp do you think is the angle? How sharp do you think the angle of the line is? How sharp do you think the angle of the line is? How sharp do you think the angle of the line of the house is? How sharp do you think the angle of the line is? Line. 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 The line of my spine was fixed by the doctor. The line of the floor was fixed by the architect, by the carpenter. The line of the floor was fixed by the carpenter, And there is a line that we have to study English. There is a line that more and English is demanded in many industries. There is a line that English skill is demanded in many industries. Now there is a line that English skill is, of course, in many industries. There is the tendency that many people will believe in influencers. Now there is the tendency that Japanese yen is dropping. Yen. How can I fix the line of the floor? Can I do that myself, or do I have to, or do I, it's better to ask the carpenter to fix it? or is it better to ask the carpenter to fix it? There is some lean on the floor, and which makes me frustrated, which gets on my nerves. Is it possible to fix it myself, or is it better to ask the carpenter? How can I fix the lean of the floor? Lean. There is the lean. There are many people believe in influencers. In the mathematics, I was asked to answer the question of the angle of the lean. In the mathematics question, I was told to answer the angle of the lean. In our body, there are fat and lean. Lean is the part of less fat. Lean, 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 and the others with a lot of fat. Lean is the place with little fat. Less fat. Lean. Lean is the part of the body with less fat. Lean is the part of the body with less fat. Lean is the part of the body with less fat. Lean, 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 lean. Lean. Lean, fat, lean and fat, lean and fat. Chateaubriand, lean. I prefer the lean of the meat. I prefer the lean of the meat. I prefer the lean of the tuna. I prefer the lean of the tuna. Which do you prefer? The tuna with a lot of fat or little fat? I mean, the tuna with oil, a lot of oil or less oil. The boxer looked so lean because he had to lose the weight. At the press conference, at the weigh-in, the boxer looked so lean because he had to lose his weight up to the decided weight. At the weigh-in, the boxer looked so lean because he had to lose his weight down to the limited weight. Otherwise, he didn't have the right to fight in the match. The stray lean cat was picked up by the owner. The lean cat was put in a cardboard box with a letter in it. The lean cat was put in a cardboard box with a letter read, please pick her up with and pour a lot of affection into her. Thank you very much. The lean cat was put in a cardboard box with a letter reading, please pick her up and pour. Please pick her up if you are cat lover, and please pour a lot of affection into her. The boxer looked so lean. The boxer looked so lean because he had to lose his weight up to the limited weight. Otherwise, he didn't have the right to join the match. Lean. The stray dog looked so lean at first, but he is very robust now. Lean. Are you eating enough? Because you look lean. Are you eating enough? Are you eating enough? Because you look lean. The stray dog looked so lean when the owner picked him up. The stray dog looked so lean when the owner picked him up. The stray dog looked so lean when the owner picked him up. The stray dog looked so lean when he picked him up. The stray dog looked so lean when he picked him up. The stray dog looked so lean when the owner picked him up. The stray dog looked so lean when the owner picked him up. The stray dog looked so lean when the owner picked him up. The stray dog looked so lean when the owner picked him up. Lean, 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 lean. The profit gathered from the donations will be used to protect the victims. The profits gathered from the donations will be used in order to help the victims, with a view to helping the victims. Some pharmaceutical companies must have profited a lot. Some exporting companies now profiting a lot. Some exporting companies in Japan must be profiting a lot on account of dropping yen. On account of dropping yen, owing to dropping yen, because of dropping yen. Because of dropping yen, thanks to dropping yen. Some companies will profit a lot while others don't. Some companies kept the profits even during the pandemic. Some companies even profited a lot during the pandemic. Some companies or stores profited a lot even during the pandemic because the demands for masks and other medicines increased. On the other hand, especially tourism industries got into recession. I hope tourism will be more vibrant, thriving, prospering, like before the coronavirus. I hope the popularity of tourism will come back anytime soon. Some companies or stores profited a lot, even during the pandemic, because the demand for masks or decontaminators increased. My business is regarding the profitability. My business is not good at all, but I love it, so I'm doing it. My proposal was turned down, dismissed, because the profitability was very bad. There was no profitability at all. The companies aiming at only profitability will not last long. The companies aiming at only profitability will not long last. Profitability. Profitability. Profitability of selling the one product is about 50% of the total price. The profitability of the product the profitability from selling the product is about 50% of the price. Profitability. The profitability from selling the product is about 50% of the price per one unit. Profitability. profitability, 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 profitability. Profitability, 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 profitability. The profitability of my business is not good at all, but I love it, so I am doing that. If you think about profitability only, it won't last. It won't last long. Profitability, 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 profitability. I think many people will think of the profitability at first. I think many people prioritize the profitability the most. I think many people will prioritize profitability at most. I think many people will prioritize profitability the most. Profitability, 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 profitability. Profitability, profitability, profitability. The company is aiming at only profitability will not last long. The companies aiming at only profitability will not last long. My business is not profitable at all, but I love it, so I'm doing that. Profitable. The lecture was very profitable for me. The lecture was very informative for me. Profitable, 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 profitable. The lecture was very profitable for me. The experience at the bakery shop was very profitable for me. I could experience of how difficult it is to earn money. The experience at the restaurant was very profitable for me. I could know how difficult it is to earn money. Profitable. My experience at the restaurant was very profitable. I could know how difficult it is to earn money. Profitable. My business is not profitable at all, or even it is even deficit. Profitable, 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 profitable. The company A didn't sign the contract with the company B because the contract was not profitable for the company A at all. The company A signed the contract with the company B, although the contract was not profitable at all for the company A. But because of the help from the company B in the past, the company A signed the contract in return for their help in the past. Profitable, profitable, profitable. Our effort will be profitable in the long run. Our effort will be profitable in the long run. Our effort might not bear fruit, pay off in the near future, but it will, I'm sure. I believe that our effort will pay off in the long run. Profitable, 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 profitable. The profitability of my business is not good at all. My business is not profitable at all. I used to take on a lot of non-profitable tasks before, offers before. My decision to change my job was totally profitable. My decision to change the job was profitable. My decision to change the job, 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 change the job. My decision to change the job, change the job, change the job was totally profitable. Profitable. In the Edo age, in the Edo period, in the Edo era, there was a class system. Age, 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 age. In the age of the globalization, English skill is very important. In the age of globalization, English skill is very important. No one can deal with the problems. Whether or not the festival will be held depends on the weather. Whether or not the festival will be held depends upon the weather. Whether the festival will be held depends upon the decision by the governor. The amount of knowledge depends upon your effort. The amount of knowledge depends upon the length of the study. Whether you can pass the examination depends on the score. Usually, the festivals in Japan derive from rituals, Shinto rituals. I usually derive my happiness from achieving something, my goals. I derive my happiness from doing what I love. I don't want to die of car accidents. I drive my car carefully. I don't want to die from car accidents, so I drive my car so carefully. My ideas usually differ from others. 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 The leftovers will be disposed of. The leftovers will be disposed of. If you are hungry, we can give you some leftovers because they will be disposed of later. If you are hungry, we can give you the leftovers because they are disposed of. They will be disposed of later. The pet bottles are disposed of. The factory disposed of the pet bottles and recycled them into another merchandise. The factory disposed of the pet bottles, turning them into some goods. Some commuters do with only a cup of coffee for breakfast. Some busy people do with only a cup of coffee for breakfast. Some busy commuters do with only a cup of coffee in the morning. Some busy commuters do with only a cup of coffee in the morning for breakfast. Yes, I sometimes do with only a cup of coffee for breakfast in the morning. I sometimes do with a cup of coffee for breakfast. And since all of the stores around the hotel were closed, so we had to do with only a cup of noodles from the vending machine. Although we went to the tourist destination all the way from the small village. Since all of the stores around the hotel were closed, we were obliged to do with cup noodles from the vending machine. I sometimes do with a cup of coffee. I sometimes do with a cup of coffee for breakfast when I'm busy. I sometimes do with a cup of coffee for breakfast when I'm super busy or I couldn't get up in time. I couldn't get up early enough. When I cannot get up early enough, I usually do with only a cup of coffee for breakfast or without breakfast at all. If I cannot get up early enough, I do with only a cup of coffee for breakfast. I usually do with a bread and a piece of bread and coffee in the morning. I usually do with a piece of bread and a cup of coffee. A bread and cup of coffee. I usually do with a piece of bread and a cup of coffee in the morning for breakfast. Some commuters do with only a cup of coffee for breakfast in the morning because they don't have much time. It's not good to do with only a cup of coffee in the morning. I usually do within 10 minutes for lunch. I usually do with 10 minutes for lunch. I usually do with light food, light breakfast in the morning. Hmm. Since I don't have much time, I did with a cup of coffee this morning. Since I didn't have much time because I slept over, so I did with only a cup of coffee. Since I didn't have much time in the morning because I slept over, so I did with a cup of coffee this morning. And I even left with coffee in my hand, and I was drinking it while I'm walking. And I was drinking it while I was walking, since I didn't have much time in the morning because I slept over. So I left my house with a cup of coffee in my hand, and I was drinking it while walking. Hmm. Since all of the stores were closed after the sightseeing around the hotel, so we were obliged to do with cup noodles from the vending machine, although we were looking forward to eating the local food. Although we were looking forward to eating the local food in the tourist destination, when we came back to the hotel, all of the restaurants were closed, so we were obliged to do with cup noodles from the vending machine. His commitment to the research ended in winning the Nobel Prize for Physics. His endless effort to the research ended in him winning the Nobel Prize for Physics. His enthusiastic to his enthusiasm to the research ended in winning the prize. A lack of sleep ended up bad efficiency. A lack of sleep ended in making the careless mistake. A short of sleep ended in making the careless mistake. A lack of sleep ended in making the careless mistake. A lack of sleep, a short of sleep, a lack of sleep ended in making the small mistake, minor mistake. His series of negligence ended in his fire, his layoff. His series of negligence at work ended in his layoff. His series of negligence at work ended in his layoff. His commitment to the research ended in winning the Nobel Prize. His commitment to the research ended in inventing the incredible product. The company A hoped to enter into the contract with the company B. The company A is hoping to enter into the contract with the company B because the contract is very profitable for the company A. I should have known better than to enter into the contract with the company B, fraudulent company B. I should have known better than to be. I should have known better than to enter into the contract with a fraudulent company. I should have known better than to enter into the contract with a fraudulent company. We've entered into friendship with each other when we were in elementary school. I entered into the friendship with my current friend when we were a university student. The supplier entered into the contract with the company B. The supplier entered into the contract with the company. The catering service company entered into the contract with the company A. The country A finally entered into the peace agreement with the company B. The country A finally entered into the peaceful treaty with the company B. A lot of tourist destinations in Japan helped the company A enter into contract with the company B. The abundance in the tourist destination in Japan helped the company A enter into the contract with the company B. If the requirement is met, I will enter into the contract. If the requirement is met, I will enter into the contract. Unless the requirements are met, I will not enter into the contract. Unless the requirements are met, I will not enter into the contract. I entered into the friendship with my friend, with him, when we were elementary school students. Some people are easy to fall into addiction of gambling. Some people are easy to fall into addiction of something, such as gambling, alcohol, and so on. Some people are easy to fall into addiction Some people are easy to fall into alcoholic addiction. A lack of sleep might fall into making a minor mistake. A lack of sleep might fall into making a minor mistake. His bad habit of borrowing money from the bank fell into tremendous amount of debt. His bad habit of gambling fell into tremendous amount of debt. His good personality of accepting everything fell into dilemma of which of the promises he should make, which of the parties he should go to. His good personality of accepting everything fell into dilemma of which of the parties in the two he should join. Some people leave their houses 30 or 1 hour earlier to avoid falling into traffic jam. In order to avoid being fell into a traffic jam. The company aiming at only profitability fell into recession. Some companies fell into recession after the pandemic. Some companies, especially in tourism industry, fell into recession after the pandemic. Many companies fell into recession after the pandemic. A lack of sleep fell into drowsiness. I usually fall into panic or nervousness before my performance. I usually fall into panic before my performance. I usually fall into much nervousness before my performance. I usually fall into nervousness. I usually fall into depression after being criticized. I usually fall into depression after being criticized from others. I cannot focus on my study in public places such as cafe, library, and so on. I cannot even focus on my study in library. You should focus yourself on the lecture, not using the smartphone. You should focus yourself on the lecture, not using smartphone. Because you are paying the tuition, right? If you don't pay attention to the lecture, which means you are throwing your money away. You are throwing your money away. We've got over many difficulties. Since I didn't want to get into traffic jam, I left my house 30 minutes earlier. The landscape of the outside going to snow overnight. The landscape of our outside going to much different one overnight, covered with snow. The landscape of the outside going into very different one overnight with the snow. The security cameras spotted the criminal getting into the bank. The security camera captured the criminal getting into the bank. The car accident on the expressway made the expressway getting into the traffic jam. The car accident along the expressway made the road get into the traffic jam. The road usually gets into the traffic jam during the business hour, during the 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. or 9 a.m. So I usually pass the road before or after that time. The road usually gets into traffic jam. The road usually gets into traffic jam from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. So I usually pass the road before the time. The leaves are getting into colorful colors. The leaves are getting into colorful colors. The leaves are getting into red in spring, in autumn, in fall. The leaves are turning red. The leaves are turning red. The leaves becoming red, changing to red. The leaves are getting into red. The leaves are getting into red. The leaves getting into red. The leaves getting into red. The leaves are 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 getting into red. We've got over many difficulties. I've got over many difficulties. I've got over many difficulties. I've got over, overcome, got through many difficulties. We've got over many difficulties. We've got over many difficulties. By getting over difficulties, we can be stronger and we can be kind to others. We've got through many difficulties, especially during this pandemic era. We've got through many difficulties, especially this pandemic era. We've got through many difficulties, especially during this era. I got through many difficulties. I got through many hardships. I got through many hardships, troubles, problems. When you get to the station, please call me. Please message me. Please send me the message. 30 minutes, about 5 minutes before you get to the destination. Please message me about 5 or 10 minutes before you get to the station, and I will pick you up there. Please send me a message 5 or 10 minutes before you get to the station, and I can pick you up. I can pick you up there. I can pick you up there. I will go over documents in Shinkansen. Could you look my documents over? Could you look over my resume? Could you go over my resume? Could you go over my resume? Could you look over my resume before I turn it in? Hand it in. Excuse me. If it's possible, could you go over my resume? Could you look over my resume before I turn it in? Excuse me, if it's possible, could you go over my essay? Could you look over my essay before I turn it in to the professor? Have you gone through operation, surgery? Have you gone through a 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 surgery? Yes, I've gone through a surgery. I've gone through a surgery. Have you gone through a bungee jump? Have you gone through a bungee jump? No, I haven't gone through a bungee jump. But I have gone through the free fall, the attraction at the amusement park. It falls vertical. I felt my inner organs floating. I really hate the feeling. I felt my inner organs floating. I felt my inner organs floating. I felt my inner organs floating. Floating. I felt my inner organs floating. That sightseeing bus will go through the east side of the Tokyo. That sightseeing bus will go through Yamanote Line. We are going through the tunnel. While we were going through the tunnel, we couldn't connect to the internet. Which university did you graduate from? Which high school did you graduate from? Excuse me, I'm looking for a bus heading for Tokyo Station. Excuse me, I'm looking for a bus heading toward Tokyo Station. Which bus goes to the Tokyo Station? Excuse me, which bus goes to the Tokyo Station? Excuse me, which bus goes to Tokyo Station? I'm looking for a bus heading for Tokyo Station. I'm looking for a bus heading for Tokyo Station. I'm looking for a bus heading for happiness. I'm looking for a bus heading toward happiness. I'm looking for a bus stop heading for happiness. I'm also looking for a bus stop heading toward happiness. Where are you heading for? We are heading for Narita Airport. We are heading toward Narita Airport. We are heading toward Narita Airport. We are heading toward Narita Airport. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. I haven't heard from you for a long time, so I'm looking forward to hearing from you. I really want to hear from you. I really want a postcard from you. I'd like to hear from you soon. Please call me when you arrive at the airport. Please call me when you arrive at the airport. I hope to see you. I hope to hear from you soon. I wish to hear from you soon. Okay, I will finish speaking here. Thank you for watching. See you next time. See you.